This is the Homecoming with the Downing Brothers podcast, where we talk about real estate, business, and financial literacy. They live by the motto, dream, plan, execute. Your host, Anthony and Anton Downing.
Welcome to Homecoming with the Downing Brothers. This is Anthony.
This is Anton.
Man, I can't wait to get this one started. Do you understand who we have before us right now?
We have Flippin' NJ. And let me tell y'all something. This is the first episode of season 2. And we starting out with a bang.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I mean, this guy is not only is he tearing the game up in New Jersey, but he's doing seminars across the country to educate people about how they can get into real estate. And that's why we had to have him on the show. I jumped in the DM and I said, hey, when you gonna be in Chicago, bro? He actually hit me back. So thanks for coming out, man.
Nah, no problem. Glad to be here.
All right, so Cesar, can you tell people where you're from? Let them know what's your hometown.
I'm from Paterson, New Jersey. Pretty much that's North Jersey. I've been in real estate now for about 14 years. Pretty much self-educated. I don't have a fancy diploma or anything like that. Nobody in my family was doing real estate. We're also doing real estate seminars across the country with my partner, DJ Envy. Mm-hmm. We've been doing that for a year and a half now. Right now, I currently own and manage 900 rental units.
900 doors?
900 doors.
And you manage them, so you must have quite a sizable management team.
Yeah, we got a pretty big team, man. You know, like our bread and butter is pretty much rental properties. When I first started, with the smaller properties. I was more thinking about flipping properties. Mm-hmm. But then I realized that to achieve true wealth, rental properties was the way to go. And then I just switched my whole formula. I still do flips. I do about anywhere between 30 to 45 a year. Mm-hmm. But my main focus is rental properties.
All right, so when you're talking about rental properties, I mean, we got the residential side and we got the commercial side. So are you focusing on like 3 and 4 unit residential, or are you talking about commercial, like five units or better? Or
well, I have pretty much every aspect as far as properties. I got 3 families, I got 4 families, I got 6 families, I got 10 units, 15 units, 30 units. Now I'm also going to the next phase of my career where I'm becoming a developer. So right now I'm in the process of putting up a 50-unit building in Paterson, New Jersey. Then we're converting a school that we purchased into a 60-unit apartment complex. And then I have an 80-unit project too that I'm doing, another school that I bought.
Yeah, I think I read about the schools. Yeah.
Wait. I'm listening to what he just said though. He said I'm becoming a developer. Bro, you are a developer. You've been a developer for 14 years. Yeah. You didn't get to 900 doors without being a developer. I mean, I know there's different levels to the developer, but bro, I want you to take credit for the fact you are a developer.
Yeah.
At the highest level, bro, and we're proud of you.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
I mean, for real. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, take us back, though. Like, you talking about to the first deal. How did the first deal happen?
Well...
And what year was it? Where were you at in your life when you did the first flip?
All right, so I'm going to break down my whole story, right? So, like I said, let's say when I graduated high school, all of my friends went to college, right? They all chose to, better themselves. I chose the streets, right? Mm. So, after high school, for 5-6 years, I kept on messing up. Everybody told me, dude, you gotta change your life. You gotta do better. I didn't listen. I ended up in prison, right? So I ended up in prison, and almost when I was finishing my sentence, I ended up in federal prison in Jersey. I was down in the spot where I was 13, it was called, the prison I was in. Mm-hmm. So as I'm about to be released, I have 2 months left. This guy comes in, right? Mm-hmm. And he's a real estate developer. Mm. So he was in there for something to do with politics, some kind of political corruption, whatever.
White collar stuff.
Yeah. So he's never been in trouble before. Okay. So I taught him how to bid. I told him how everything worked inside. Mm-hmm. And he taught me about real estate. Right. So even though I'm there for a negative thing, right, as I'm about to come out, this guy inspires me to do better.
Right.
So I come home, and straight from the halfway house, this was the crazy days when, before the market went down.
What year?
This was back in 2006, right?
Okay.
From the halfway house, I actually started doing mortgages, which is the funniest thing because you're like, yo, this guy just came out of prison. How the hell he's dealing with people's information, right?
Right.
So there was a guy that was in the halfway house and he was recruiting people to do mortgages. So I started doing mortgages, right? Everything was great. I was making money, $15,000, $20,000 a month. 100% stated. Those were the wild cowboy days, right? That doesn't exist anymore. Right. If you
didn't have to state the income or anything.
Nothing. It was just pretty much, I got a 680 credit score. I want to buy that house because my aunt bought that house and my cousin bought that one. Now I want a house. Approved. That was pretty much how it was back then, right?
Yeah.
Which was pretty crazy. So I was doing great. I had a 2-year run. Boom. Market goes down. Everything collapses. So
and you hadn't bought any property at that point?
Didn't buy any property yet.
Okay.
Well, actually, let me correct myself. Before I went into prison, I actually bought a property. Okay. So just to get, let me go back a little bit.
Go back.
Rewind.
So the day, right before I go into prison, my wife gets pregnant.
Wow.
So, we decided at that point we bought a house, 100% stated, which was back then, right? So I bought my first property right before I went into jail, which is, just to give you a gangster story, me and my wife actually got married on January 3rd, 2005, in the morning, right, noontime. In the afternoon, I actually turned myself in to start my sentence.
Wow.
So, our story's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So
we're going to have to make a movie about this. We got to get you on TV.
Yeah. So, like I said, I did that. Then I came out. I was doing mortgages. Everything was great. Market went down. I'm Dominican. My wife's Cuban. Her mother's a chef. So we opened up a Cuban restaurant. Me and my wife have no experience in the restaurant business, right? Which was it was a horrible idea because we should have done something else. Horrible. Like I tell her all the time.
Good.
No, the food was great.
Oh.
That was the best part. That you can eat whatever you want. Everything a la carte, right? That's the best.
Make money though.
Yeah. You got to make money. So, we opened up the restaurant. We lost everything. Our house was in foreclosure. Everything you can think of, we went bad with that restaurant. That's why I tell people now when people tell me, "Oh, I want to open up a restaurant as partner." No, I don't want nothing to do with restaurants unless I'm eating. That's it.
Right.
So, at that point, everybody was running away from real estate, right? So, I saw an opportunity in a property. I believe it was a 3-family home. I did that deal. I sold my car, pawned my jewelry, pawned my wife's ring, borrowed money from my mom. She let me borrow like $1,000. She still froze it in my face.
Shout out to mom.
Right.
Yeah. She still froze it in my face to this day, even though I paid her back and bought her a house. But whatever, it is what it is. Right? It is what it is. Yeah. And then I made $70,000 for that deal, and I closed the restaurant. The next day, I left the money in the register, left the food in the freezer, and just ran out of there. And I've been doing real estate now 14 years.
Man, that is an incredible story.
Yep.
I think the thing that comes to my mind when I hear something like that is that you can overcome difficult circumstances. And I think people need to hear stories like that to understand that they might be in a tough spot right now. But if they can center themselves and they can actually like start thinking of alternatives, start doing research. You got Google, right? I mean, the answers to many of your problems are probably right there on your smartphone. But you can't overcome it. And there are people like Cesar who are examples of that. Right. And, of course, you've exceeded to extraordinary levels. But you started somewhere.
Yep. The most important thing is to start, man. You know what I mean? Like, just because you have a rough beginning, that's not going to be the end to your story, right? Everybody has opportunity. There's opportunity everywhere. You just got to know. You see it and you got to seize it. Because if not, you're not going to do anything in life. And I tell a lot of people, especially in real estate, right? Real estate is one of those things that could lead you to a better life, right? A richer life. But you have to take the risk. Without risk, there's no reward. And that's all it is. But it's a numbers thing, right? So if the numbers make sense in Chicago, Jersey, LA, the deal is a great deal. That's it. It's all about numbers. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. I think, I don't know, I'm listening to you talk about numbers. A lot of times people, when it comes to real estate, they start falling in love with a property instead of falling in love with the numbers.
Right.
Yep.
It's not about do you like the way the property looks from the curb or you like the way this room looks or the paint color or the countertops, whatever. Did you do the math? What are the numbers looking like for you? You know what I'm saying? Because you really make your money on the purchase.
Yeah.
If you make it at the purchase, I'm talking about
That's when you make your money.
below market value, so you
Yeah.
can create some equity for
That part.
yourself. And then you come in and do that renovation, and then on the back end, you know that the ARV, the after rehab value, is going to get you a sale that's going to make you a profit. Are you messing with the numbers? The numbers is what matters.
Now, I saw you do a video like a week or two ago about the 1800. If it cash flows $1,800, you would keep the property. If it's less than that, you're going to sell the property when you're doing the renovation. Could you explain that?
Well, pretty much for me, like, and that's talking about like a smaller rental property, right? Let's say a 3 or 4 family.
Okay.
Anything under 3 units, I flip, right? So that's the stuff that I flip. I like to net at least $1,500 to $1,800 a month if I'm going to keep a rental property long term.
Okay.
That's just my formula because, you know, at this point I could kind of be picky, you know, realistically.
Right.
So that's what I like. You know, I like that. Like I tell people, when I first started in real estate, right, I only wanted to make $5,000 a month. That was my goal. I want to make $5,000 every month net.
Right.
And then I hit 5,000 and I was like, you know what? I could probably do 10,000.
Maybe.
Then I hit 10,000.
Yeah.
And then 10,000 became 20, then 20 became 50, then 100, 200. I don't want to brag. And then, you know, you just keep on going. You know, it's just an ambulance.
People need to know what's possible, so we need you to say this.
Yeah,
When you say $1,500 to $1,800, is that after paying the mortgage, after paying
everything, net.
Cash flow.
Cash flow.
Just cash
Just
flow.
pure cash flow.
Yeah.
And like in that example that I'm talking about, $1,800, right? Think about it. If you have 5 of those or 10 of those, you're making $18,000 a month. Then no matter what comes every month between the 1st to the 5th for the rest of your life. That's what it is. Because, you know, as far as with rental properties, we're thinking long term, right?
Right.
Not just long term. We want these properties to be in our family forever. So when we're not here, our families never have to worry about anything again compared to what we went through, right? Like I have a daughter. She's 14. And she already knows she's going to take over the business, right?
Right.
And I do everything for her. So by the time it's all said and done, my goal is to have between 5,000 to 10,000 units, doors nationwide.
Right.
And then I already told her, now if I hit 5,000 to 10,000, you got to hit 20 to 30,000. And it just keeps on growing.
Right. Well, obviously, the head start you're giving her is going to make it easier. But you know, the one thing is if she buys in to the value system, you know, because a lot of people get handed money or they get handed a portfolio and they can squander it in a couple of years.
They might not necessarily buy into the system.
Yeah. So I'm praying for you that she buys into it.
Oh, no, my daughter's a hustler, bro.
Oh,
She knows the business. She does walkthrough with me when I look at a property and needs complete
That's
rehab.
good.
She already tells me, Dad, the plumbing's gone, this is gone. Like, she loves real estate.
Really?
Yeah, she might end up, I think, she might end up going to school and become an architect and you know, have that background.
Right.
But she loves real estate. She already knows. I kind of break it down to her, like when we look at a property, like, look, this 3-family home here, that's going to pay for your car. This 4-family over here is going to pay your mortgage. So you got to kind of look at properties, kind of like each property is kind of like a piggy bank, right? And it's going to pay for your lifestyle. That's what I tell people, right? Because a lot of people, when they have regular jobs, you know, they have a 9 to 5, they go to work every week, and they're living check to check, right? So even what they're doing is not paying for their lifestyle, right? And they can't even afford the lifestyle that they're living. So with real estate is one of those things that each property could pay for something different. It could pay for, if you want a Rolls Royce, it'll pay for the Rolls Royce. If you want that house down the shore or that beach house or whatever, each property could pay for that. And
so an asset paying for the liability that you want to accumulate.
That's pretty much all it is.
You want, you go get an asset for it. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that we're always pushing is well, you know, hey, our homies over there with, you know, Troy and Rashad, you know, with the assets over liabilities. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like pushing those assets.
And that's it.
And our bar is a little bit lower than yours. We're just looking for $1,000. If we're at $1,000, we're fine. But we're probably up it, you know, over time because we feel our own evolution happening. Because now we're crossing over into you know, onto the commercial side. We just submitted a bid for a 28-unit building. And we don't know if we're going to get it. It's a receivership, so it's like
it's
so we got to see how it pans out. But you know what I'm saying, we're excited about that.
We have a strong narrative. I live literally across the street from the property. So you know, when the judge decides which group is going to get the property, they look at all of those things. Reputation, relationships matter.
Relationships matter. Oh, let's talk about relationships though. You know, the reason why that particular deal that we're involved in that particular deal is because one of our frat brothers, Tosin. I don't know if you might. I think you know Tosin, because Tosin actually lived out in New Jersey for a while. You know what I'm saying? He's Nigerian. You know what I'm saying?
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Atlanta. Yeah.
So you know, he came to us with that deal, and so it's like relationships, like knowing being a stand-up guy, right? If you're a stand-up person, you got great character, and you can develop relationships with people, and they know that you're like consistent, that you're about your business, you're trustworthy, all of these things, and you start to develop these relationships with people, opportunities start to come back to you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so important to develop these relationships, and that's the reason why so many things have happened for us. Like, I mean, it's you know, I don't know, we're not gonna talk about it on this episode, but we got so many things coming to us because of relationships.
Yeah. And this business, that's what it is. It's a relationship-based business, right? So when I tell people, even at the seminar, when you sign a deal, right, you sign that contract that you're going to buy that house, you need to close. Because next time there's a good deal on the table and you don't close, that realtor's not going to bring you that deal. That wholesaler's not going to bring you that deal. You know what I mean? That investor's not going to bring you that good deal, or whoever it is. Because you never know, right? Like right now, we're in this room right now, and I don't know if she's going to bring me a deal. He's going to bring me a deal. This guy's going to bring me. You never know where your next deal comes from. And that's the most important thing, is building relationships and keeping your word. You know, your yeses are yeses, your no's are no's. And that's it.
Right.
That's the most important part. And you sign, you got to close that deal, because they'll always remember if you don't close. They only like you when you close. If you don't close, nobody likes you.
Right. All right, so right now we're going to move to homecoming events. And so one homecoming event I saw, I looked up New Jersey, since we're flipping NJ.
Yep.
And they had this one report by mycentralnewjersey.com that said New Jersey real estate, why apartments keep being built in central Jersey. And here it says, the mindset has not only changed, but the change has accelerated as millennials graduate from college and start selling into their first home. So developers anticipating a trend where millennials want apartments rather than single-family homes. So that's why there's been an uptick in the amount of apartments that are being built and developed. So you're on the ground level. Are you seeing that? Like, are there more like apartments being built than single-family homes in Jersey?
Not just, right, let's say Jersey, of course, right? But when you go across the whole country, that's all you see is luxury rentals, right? You see buildings everywhere with amenities. You see it in Atlanta, Charlotte, New Jersey, Chicago. Everywhere you go, nobody's building condos anymore, right? Condos don't sell. And millennials, they want amenities. They want a swimming pool. They want a gym. You know, they want a theater. That's pretty much the trend around the country.
They want to easily move.
That's it. The only place where I see that they still are building condos, which makes no sense to me, is Miami. Miami and New York, they still have that, apartments for sale, condos, whatever you want to call it, co-ops. Right. But the rest of the country is pretty much luxury rentals everywhere. Right. And not just in New Jersey. That's pretty much everywhere. But the problem with that is, though, right, that eventually certain areas are going to get oversaturated. So now what happens is that the landlords is going to be harder to rent apartments, and now the rental market might go down a little bit.
Prices start to drop.
Yeah. If you're in an oversaturated area, right? Like where I'm at in Patterson, or Newark, or places like Atlantic City, like the urban areas, we still have a pretty high demand because most of the housing stock is old, right? 1940s, 1920s, whatever you want to call it, those kind of. So we still have a lot of opportunity to develop in those areas. There's still a lot of opportunity there. But as far as more of the suburban stuff, it's oversaturated.
Right. I mean,
look, when we were in New Orleans, it was quite the opposite. Because the Airbnb, they made a rule that said if you have an Airbnb, you can continue the Airbnb, but we're not allowing anybody else to turn their apartment into an Airbnb because they were running out of stock for people to actually live in.
Right, they were running out of housing for the workers who actually work down in the French Quarter and do all the hospitality jobs, and so that's that changed that dynamic. But here in Chicago, though, let me tell you about Chicago.
We're good here.
If you're in Chicago and you can get the financing or you have the money saved up and you can renovate an apartment building, and I'm talking about on the residential side or commercial, if you can renovate something, because the housing stock is old in so many different neighborhoods, once you do that renovation, I'm talking about in less than a week, you're going to find tenants at top dollar if you have a fully renovated apartment, because people want to move in to apartments. They have all the amenities.
They have, white shaker cabinets.
Right. They want quartz countertops. I mean, whatever. They want the best. And when you have an old house in stock, it puts you at an advantage if you're the one who's developing that real estate. So, save something for us, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. I see Chicago being where Patterson was 5-10 years ago, right? Like you talked about rents, right? Like your price point is like $1,000.
Right.
I think the next 5 years, the way that the market's changing, you'll probably be at $1,500 for that 3-bedroom. So I'm actually looking like about 30 buildings tomorrow out here. So I'm here. It's really a homecoming for me.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel you on that one.
Tosin is here, and now here's Cesar is coming right behind you.
Tosin came up from Atlanta. We buying buildings.
Everybody wants to come to Chicago.
Now Cesar here. We buying buildings.
But you know what? Hey, the Downer Brothers are buying buildings too. So we,
all right.
But the thing is, there's enough for everybody. Because it's not enough real serious people who are putting themselves in position. So if you actually make this decision, if you wake up one day and you do the research and you say, look, you know what? I'm going to get my credit together. I'm going to save my money up. And for those of you who are starting, and most of the people who are listening right now, you're about to buy your first building, right? So if you're making your first purchase, go out and take advantage of the fact you can get a conventional loan and buy a property for 3 to 5% down. Or you can get an FHA loan and do 3.5% down, and you can get in direct competition with us. You can do a 203K renovation on a 3 or 4 unit apartment building in Chicago, right? And be, I mean, you'll be on the same block with us doing renovation, so you can get in the game too. So I don't want you to feel like, because you heard some 900 doors and, he's making all this money, this and the other. That doesn't mean that the opportunity isn't there for you. I want all the homies out there listening that there's opportunity for you wherever you are, whether you're here in Chicago or whether you're out there in New Jersey. There's opportunity for those of you who get serious. So I need all the homies to wake up, and get to it. All right, so what are we moving to now?
Well, when we come back from this break, we're going to go with Anton's definition of the day.
Oh, you mean Anton's definition of the day.
Okay, so we're back. The definition of the day is seminar.
Okay.
A meeting of a group of people with a teacher or expert for training, discussion, or study on a particular subject. Now, when we say seminar on this show, we're talking about real estate seminars.
That's right. And I think it's important that people go to seminars. Physically get up out of your house, get off of your phone, and go to a seminar, get the information in person, meet somebody, shake hands, look people in the eye, develop relationships, which we'll be talking about every single episode. And when you know that Cesar is coming to town, man, you better drop what you're doing and get there. But I mean, tell us, what's the benefit of going to a seminar, to a real estate seminar?
I'm gonna be honest, right? When I've been in real estate for 14 years, right? The first 2 years that I started was the hardest, right, in my career. I didn't know anything. Nobody in my family was doing real estate, right? Now it's so easy to get that knowledge, right? There's seminars everywhere. There's information online. Go to a seminar. Ask questions. Of course, do your research because there's a lot of people out there. The scary part about the seminar is that there are a lot of people out there that do take advantage, right? That happens a lot. But do your research. Go to a seminar. Get the knowledge. Go online. But a seminar is a great way to start. I wish there was seminars when I started. There wasn't. I think the only thing back then was Tony Robbins, and it was like $2,000 a ticket. Somebody from an urban area can't afford $2,000 a ticket, right?
Right.
Realistically. And I think, well, you know what? Not to bring his name up too, but Trump had one too back then, and I think it was like $5,000 a ticket. So I couldn't put that together.
We need something that's affordable. Affordable, like $100. $100 investment.
Yep.
For you to learn what it takes to change the narrative in your life or for your family, because when you spend that $100 to go to a seminar, because you're here, we're going to talk about going to see DJ Envy and Cesar.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That investment in yourself is important.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because, there's different types of seminars. And, you can go to a seminar that has like a panel discussion. You know what I'm saying? That has different types of real estate professionals. Because the thing is, when you go to a seminar, sometimes, you'll see like the talent or the stars or whatever. Like, somebody like DJ Envy. But then you also see people who've actually been, who are like a lender. You know what I'm saying? Then you have a realtor. You have home inspectors.
Yep.
You have all these people that play these different roles. Yep. You have a smart home consultant. And that's somebody who comes in and puts an alarm system in, smoke detector, CO detector, and wires your thermostat all together. Now you get to learn about all these different aspects. You got the contractors and a breakdown of what a general contractor does. A general contractor has a team of subcontractors. Electricians, plumbers, carpenters. I mean, for me, it rolls off the tongue so quickly because we've been doing this. But in order for you to get to the point where you understand the full scope, the full realm of everything that's going on, you go to a seminar that has these people in front of you. You get to listen to them for a couple of hours, and then afterwards, you allow people to come up and shake your hand, right? Afterwards, can I come shake your hand?
Bro, I don't leave. At our seminar, we don't leave till the last question is asked. So not only are we there for 4 hours, right? We break everything down from start to flip. We have a credit repair guy. We have conventional lender, hard money lender, which most people don't know what a hard money lender is. We have a hard money lender there. We have a real estate attorney. We have a real estate broker. We're in partnership with auction.com. We have auction.com there, which has the most properties nationwide, breaking down, how to use their website, how to buy properties there. We have a general contractor breaking everything down. We actually, even when I go into my thing, I actually put up a construction schedule or a draw so people could see how you use a renovation budget, and put your numbers together. We pretty much break everything down from flips, commercial properties, the smaller rental properties. I tell my story. My friend Fernando tells his story. Envy tells his story. So we pretty much break everything down from start to flip. And when we're done, believe it or not, we actually stay. I shake everybody's hand, and I answer every single question. It's pretty exhausting, especially the last one. We had 4,000 people. I was there for a couple hours afterwards.
We get it, man. But we definitely get it.
But I think it's very important that people can actually approach you, right? And just you shaking somebody's hand and taking 1 minute to answer a question means the world for somebody.
Right.
And
definitely.
That's what you should do.
Definitely. I mean, for me, it's fulfilling to be able to pour into other people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? To educate, enlighten somebody, inspire somebody. There's some people out here that, man, that one moment changes their entire life. And not, you know what? We get a chance not just to change just one person's life. That person then goes out and they go buy that first property. They start being financially stable. Yeah. They start taking care of their children. Then they actually become the coach of the basketball team in the community. They do all these great things, and it can all start at a seminar.
Yep, that's it.
So, I mean, anyway.
No, we have a seminar coming up on Saturday. Not by the time this episode.
It's gonna be after.
It's gonna be afterwards. But we stopped at Garrett's Popcorn, which is like very famous popcorn spot here in Chicago. And the lady that parked right next to us said, "Are you Anton or Anthony?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm Anton." And then she was like, "I just want you to know, I'm buying a ticket to your seminar for Saturday. I'm gonna be there. I'm ready to buy a property."
And dude. I mean, and I wasn't there for that because I had already
because he walked in there so fast.
The popcorn smelled great. I had to get it in there.
Well, he left me behind so quick.
I left him behind, but the woman came in behind us, and then I'm getting the story all over again when she walked in because she was so happy to see both of us at the same time. I don't know, it's a twin thing, right? Where people love to see both of us together. But anyway, but she was genuinely excited, and she's like, "I'm coming to this seminar so I can learn everything." And I told her, when you come to our seminar, you actually get to meet our entire team. And I'm not talking about like just any contractor or any attorney or whatever. I'm talking about who actually have done our transactions and done our work. Yeah. So it's authentic, it's real. Yep. And that's what you want to be looking for. Yep. You come to a Down and Brothers seminar or you come to DJ Envy and Cesar seminar, you know what I'm saying? You're looking for people who are real and authentic and genuinely want to see people do well. Yep. You know what I mean? And use your own discernment and your own wisdom to figure those things out. But you can really get some value there, and I'm excited. I love meeting everybody that's ready to change their life.
No, definitely, man. That's like, there's nothing more fulfilling that somebody actually going to one of your seminars and then hitting you up. Dude, I bought my first property. I'm on property number 4. I'm on
Right.
property number 5. Like
Right.
we have already thousands of people that have bought properties, you know, after coming to our seminar. Like our numbers are pretty good, man. And people actually, you know, around the country, they're hearing the message. You know, you know, as far as us, you know, minorities, even though we're the, you know, technically we're the majority now,
Yeah.
we don't have most of the wealth. Like it makes no sense. If we're the majority, how come we have no money? How come we don't have other people, you know, people like us teaching us about real estate? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's something that with these seminars, with spreading the word across the countries, that's dope. You guys are doing your seminar. Like it's just about helping as many people as possible that look like us to change their lives and do better for future generations.
Absolutely.
And one of the biggest things that I always get, why are you doing a seminar for? So you're teaching everybody how to do what you're doing.
Right.
Aren't you scared that they're going to be a competition? Aren't you scared that they're going to go out the property? And like I break it down like this. Where I'm from in Patterson, New Jersey, just in Patterson, New Jersey alone, there's $2 billion in real estate. There's enough for everybody.
Right.
And at the end of the day,
Real.
they're not going to be my competition. They can't beat me, but whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that just ain't going to happen. 'Cause, you know, yeah.
Right.
But there literally is enough out here for
It is.
everybody.
That's
Think
it.
I put
Yeah.
it this way. I want everybody that's listening to think about this. No matter what town you're in right now, there's a section of town right now where there's a bunch of vacant lots
Yep.
and vacant properties that are just sitting there, just massive opportunity. And they may have been sitting there for decades. That means that at any given time in the United States of America, there's an opportunity for you to go out and do something. There's enough for all of us. So I'm not scared to share my experience or to tell people what I did.
Yep.
No, I want everybody to have it. In fact, honestly, if more people were doing what we were doing, they would be happier. They
Yep.
wouldn't be out here robbing and stealing and bringing the whole neighborhood down.
Yeah.
Right? We got an opportunity to make our neighborhood safer and better.
Yeah, because we're going to create jobs for people so that
Yeah.
they don't feel the need to take from anybody.
So, you know, that's just my soapbox.
Yeah. On top of that, let me say this: the three of us up here, we come from a island heritage. If all the property in the United States went away, I would just start developing in the Bahamas where we came from.
Right. Yeah. Well, our mom,
Or the Dominican Republic.
Our mom is constantly on us about that. We're
Yeah.
like, yeah, mom, let us meet our goal, and then we're, you know, actually we are developing down there.
Yeah,
but
we got
she
a
wants us
couple.
to
We
do
got
more
we
in
built
the
a couple
Bahamas.
townhouses down
Right,
there.
right. She
dope.
wants us to do more down there, and we will. But I'm just saying, there's massive opportunity wherever you are. And if you're in the Bahamas listening to this, or you're in the Dominican Republic, you know, go ahead and get your chips together. Maybe you need to find a couple of partners that are like-minded. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I keep on telling everyone about building these relationships. But there's opportunity wherever you are.
I found a partner. Well, I was kind of born with him, but you know.
Yeah. I thought you was about to tell you got another partner besides me. What's going on here? I ain't meet him yet. Anyway, where we at with it, man? Where are we going with this now? What we doing, man?
Oh, well, I guess I wanted to just mention that the Census Bureau has stated that there's over 1.5 million vacant homes in the United States in 2019. That is like clearly a number that tells you that we can have seminars every day this year, and everybody in those seminars go get a property, and there will still be properties out there after that.
Right. A massive inventory. All right, so we're going to go to our next segment. This is where we ask you your dream, plan, execute moment. And so maybe you can tell us some interesting deal that you did where you dreamed about, you saw it, you dreamed about it, you wrote out a plan, and then you went out and made it happen. You executed.
So I'm going to talk about my first big commercial deal, right?
Okay.
I already owned at that point a couple of 10 units, 12 units, 15 units. So there was this 30-unit building, right, in Main Street in Patterson, New Jersey.
Okay.
And it was for $1.8 million, right? And I was like, yo, how am I going to make this happen? How can I get this property? You know, like I said, at that point, I was still learning. One of the most important things is real estate is leveraging, how to leverage your money, right?
Right.
So I was still learning that. So I went after this property, right? And it was $1.8 million, but it's a commercial property. Most people don't understand that with commercial properties, it's based on the income of the property. That's what gives it the value. I already knew the property was worth $3.54 million. The only reason that I could have got that property for 1.8 was because it was 4 Italian brothers, and they each had 6 kids. So now there was almost 30 owners, right? They couldn't get along with each other. So that's why I got such a good deal. So I went to this bank. I got the loan. Boom, 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 whatever. And I'm about to close on it. They gave me a commitment. So these guys, were bankers. Of course, I don't look like them. I'm coming in there with a big white tee and some Jordans on. Right. So he looks at me and he's like, "Yo, are you done with doing what you used to do?" And I was like, "Bro, what do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw that you have a criminal record, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, from 15 years ago, right?" And he's like, "And I already have the loan commitment, and the loan commitment was actually under my wife's name, right, under her LLC. So it had nothing to do with me." And at that point right there, the guy looked at me a certain way, but he couldn't say no to me because I had a commitment, right? So I closed on the property. And I still want to keep doing business with these guys. It's a pretty big bank in New Jersey. I go back to them, and I tell them I want to refinance this property. I know it's worth more. Just let me get $250,000, right? So I bought the building for $1.8 million. I put about $300,000 into it. I go to them. I was like, just give me a line of credit for $250,000, right? And like I said, they already judged me for something from my past, right? Even though at this point I was already worth $20 million. They still weren't respecting me because they're like, "Yo, how the hell this guy from the hood?"
They know on record
how
that
much
you're worth $20 million.
I was at that time,
want to treat you some
bro.
type of way?
At that point, they pretty much red flagged me, right?
Yeah.
They're looking at me. They're like, "Yo, how is this guy worth $20 million? He's from the streets. I'm a banker. I went to college. I make $100,000 a year, and this guy's making all this money, right?" So he's already looking at me a certain way. So after I closed the deal, they couldn't say no to me because I had my commitment, and at that point I could probably sue them because they're being prejudiced against me. I go to them after I rehab a couple of the units. "Bro, I want a line of credit for $250,000. They're like, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing." I don't know what I'm doing. Look at my bank account. Look at my assets. What you mean I don't know what I'm doing? No, you don't know what you're doing. I go to another bank, right? On the refi, I made $2 million. I walked away with $2 million, and I sent them the HUD one too, and something else with that too.
I sent them to the last bank.
I sent them the HUD one, and I gave them the middle finger. Thank you. I just walked away with $2 million. Thank you.
Right.
So that was like one of my
I just
biggest.
need a slow clap. I'm just saying, we need a slow clap. For real.
Yes. So that was one of my biggest deals. Well, back then, even though I've done bigger deals than that, not to brag or anything, but that was one of a dope. That was a dope moment. Yeah, about 5 to 6 at this point.
Yeah.
So that was one of those moments where I'm like, "Yo, I just walked away with $2 million. These guys were doubting me." And
you only wanted $250,000.
I only wanted $250,000.
Then you went somewhere else and you ended up with $2 million.
Yeah, and I took that $2 million made into $15 million. That's it.
Man, that's awesome.
Look,
that is
just
awesome.
keep
That's
so
one of
happy
the
that
best dream plan execute moments I've ever had, bro. This is the 21st episode, and yeah, that's a bar you just
raised just now.
You just raised the bar. All right, so at this point, this is Homecoming with the Down Brothers. We want to ask you, when you hear the word homecoming, what does it mean to you?
Homecoming. Kind of like being welcome home. It's kind of funny. That's the name of the show because I'm actually here looking at property. So it is a homecoming. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the perfect word to describe this moment. Like, I've been coming down to Chicago for a while. I see a lot of opportunity here. I like Chicago a lot. And it is a homecoming for me. Like I said, you're going to see me a lot around here.
Well, you win every time you pull up, man.
Yeah,
we definitely gonna welcome
hit
you home.
Yeah,
let us know. Let us know, because we know a lot of people in Chicago. we can share some of this influence.
No, definitely, bro.
For sure.
That's what it's all about. And when you guys are ready to come to Jersey, we'll welcome you with open arms.
No doubt.
Seriously, we gonna come too, man.
Yeah. All right, so even now that we established how you felt about homecoming, can you give us like some kind of interesting story? It could be awkward, it could be funny, it could be whatever, or it might be heartwarming or something like that. But just give us a homecoming story, like you came home and this happened or that happened. Tell us something.
I'm gonna actually tell you, when I graduated high school, I was in the homecoming court. Now that you're saying
you was homecoming king?
No, I was on the court.
He's on the court.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And
he was like either the Prince or the Duke, the Fresh Prince of New Jersey.
Yeah. So I was in the homecoming court, and when I actually was walking to be presented, it was my cousin, but she was like 6 feet tall. And when we're going to the stage, I actually tripped and over her dress.
Over her dress?
Yeah. And I ripped the bottom of her dress, and everybody was looking. It was crazy.
But she kept the rest of the dress, though.
Right? She kept the rest of it.
All right, cool, man. She's making sure, man.
She's mad at you.
So that's a real homecoming story right there.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, okay, all right. Hey, man, you been coming with the hitters, man.
Straight
You
up.
been coming with the hitters. All right. So at this point, we want to talk about. Do you have any kind of like homecoming cause or charitable organization or that you support? And tell us about it.
Well, pretty much, like I said, me and DJ Envy do the seminar, season DJ Envy real estate seminar. So after every seminar, we give back to the community, right? So, for example, after New York, we did a toy drive. So we did 3 days of giving with Cesar and DJ Envy. We gave out about 4,000 toys, Atlantic City, Patterson, New Jersey, and Queens.
That's what's up.
Yep.
That was what? That was like just like a month ago
Yeah,
for Christmas?
yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, I mean.
Yeah, so pretty much what we did was we went to like local schools. We had a Santa Claus. We had a face painter. We had people giving out free haircuts so the kids will look sharp for Christmas.
That's what's up.
Nice.
We had a DJ. What else? On one of them, we actually braiding hair too. We had a lady that was braiding kids' hair and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
And we gave out a lot of toys. Cause I can't. You know what it is? We kind of like to control our dollars, and we wanted to reach as many people as possible. And I kind of feel like when you do it yourself, and you actually shake somebody's hand and they can actually touch you, it means more than somebody saying, "Oh, this is from Cesar and DJ Envy." When you can actually see us and we put it in your hand, it's totally different.
I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
We have to show up and show out.
Yep.
That's why we're both firefighters as well as real estate investors, and as well as now becoming the Downing Brothers. But people ask us to come out to the schools and talk to the students, and I think it's really important. I feel it. A 10-year-old or a 12-year-old, we come in there and they see us in our uniform, or if I'm just wearing a shirt and tie, or maybe I'm dressed down like I am right now, and then we tell them our story and we explain to them, man, I'm from the same block that you're from. You know what I'm saying? I went to Morgan Park High School on the south side. You know what I mean? I grew up on 91st in Michigan, and yes, my bike got stolen one time. You know what I'm saying? But I overcame the X, Y, and Z that happened. I mean, they need to know that people just like them can become what they perceive us to be now. You know what I'm saying? And I actually see it in their eyes when they realize, oh man, you went to Morgan Park? Oh, that's your favorite Harold's? Yeah, the one on 87th Street. Damn right, that's the best Harold's if y'all don't. Yeah, but anyway, but just the truth, right? Yeah, but they relate to that, to those stories. So it is important that we get out there and get in front of them. So yeah, we are definitely on the same accord.
Yeah, most important thing.
All right, so it's time for Anthony's after set. All right.
Wait, man. Before you do Anthony's after set,
okay.
Because I swear, man, every time you do this, we forget to give him a T-shirt.
All right.
So let me grab you a T-shirt real quick. This is one of our designs that we probably never wear on the show and whatnot. Yeah, it's a different design for Dream Plan. That's cute.
Hey, I'm gonna do better than that. I'm gonna do better than that. I got something for you. We talking about something.
I talked about Garrett's popcorn earlier.
Chicago. If you really want to be Chicago, you got to give them the Garrett's popcorn. You got to give them the Garrett's popcorn. But I got one for your manager too, because she's so cool. So I want to make sure that she got some Garrett's popcorn too. So if you come to Chicago, you got to get some Harold's Chicken, preferably from 87th Street, and you got to get that Garrett's popcorn, because that's the truth right there. You let me know how you.
That
feel
right
about
there,
that.
That's that mixed caramel and cheese too.
All right.
No.
Yeah.
So they just got some free pub with Garrett. Y'all gonna have to take care of us one day. All right. So anyway, now that we got all the gifts out of the way and so on and so forth, let's get to Anthony's after set. So when I do the after set, this is really just at the end of the party. You got all the events that happen during the day. Then you got the party, and then you got the after set. And at the end of the after set, it could be like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And that's when we try to impart some wisdom on our friends and stuff before the sun starts to come up. And I just want to say that sometimes what separates people who nurse their fears from those who rebuke them, you know what I'm saying, what separates them from the people who have fears, you know what I'm saying, is being brave enough to admit that you have a problem, you know, to admit that you need to change your own life, that you stop pointing at other people and start focusing on yourself, and you look in the mirror and say, I need to change my habits. I need to start doing things that, you know, are going to make me healthy, that are going to make me wealthy and make me wise. Healthy, wealthy, and wise. Our father used to tell us when we were growing up all the time, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy and wise. And I think to this day, when I go to sleep early and I wake up early, and I wake up early enough so that I can sit there and think and meditate for a second, go to the gym before anybody gets up and before the sun even rises, and I get all of that done, I know that I'm ahead of other people already. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm already getting the work in to take care of myself, to eat right, to work out, take care of my body, and to think about what it is that I want to accomplish throughout the day. And then I start looking at my calendar, and I start thinking about the different things that need to be done, the phone calls, the text messages, the meetings, you know what I mean? And the actual work sometimes, because every once in a while, you know, we have to actually go to a work site and say, and get on people and say, you need to get your act together. But you need to take care of ourselves. And you have to get over your fears and be honest with yourself about what you need to do in order for you to get ahead. And that's what I have to say in Anthony's Afterset. I hope you guys are listening and taking these things to heart. I'm not just saying this just to say it. I'm saying it because I'm doing it myself. I'm doing it myself. And so, since I'm done with the Afterset, Cesar, where can they find you? Where can they learn more about you?
Pretty much on my Instagram, very active, putting up posts and videos every day. Flippin_NJ.
Flippin_NJ.
Yep.
Go there. If anybody's listening in Vegas, right? In Vegas, you got something coming up?
February 23rd, we'll be in Vegas.
All right, February 23rd, he'll be in Vegas. Now, after we get off of this, we're going to be talking to him about how we can get him to do a seminar in Chicago and get all of our homies out there to pull up at a seminar with DJ Envy and Cesar. Okay? And maybe you might see an appearance from the Downer Brothers. Who knows? All right. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Listen to the episodes. You can find us on Apple and Spotify, Google, and go ahead and go to YouTube. And to learn more about the Downer Brothers, you know what I'm saying? Go to DownerBrothers.com. Go to the Downer Brothers on Instagram. We'll see you there.
Thank you for tuning in to Homecoming with the Downing Brothers podcast. For more information on how to dream, plan, execute in real estate, business, and financial literacy, visit www.thedowningbrothers.com.